How would I start my development journey if I were to start today? Let's understand this, and I promise I would keep this short, crisp, and full of knowledge. Now, before I pick any sort of fancy frameworks, I would first fix my basics and understand the core building blocks of the web. Which means I would actually literally start from what is a front end and what is a back end. I would understand how web works, what is HTTP, and what are REST APIs, how do they function, what are different status code. There is ton of things that happens when a request is sent from one place to another, or when a user interacts with a website in the browser. So what exactly happens, I would understand that first. Now, these basics would give you some clarity about the hindsight without writing code blindly. And I would go to a level wherein I could take some sort of public APIs and I would simulate calling them via Postman. The next step would be to start building real APIs. Now, since I'm clear with all the building blocks of the web, I would pick a programming language, pick a framework, and I would start building stuff, which means I would actually be writing code and creating simple APIs like a CRUD application or a sort of to-do list application. Now, of course, this is really, really simple, and I'm just understanding how things work in a particular language or a particular framework. So if I pick up Spring Boot, Java, then I would understand how you can define REST controllers, how a API can be defined, what are different annotations being used. So I would start from there. Now the goal over here is not to memorize syntax, but to get used to in terms of thinking about routes, logic, and the data flow. The next step would in my journey, once I'm done with this, would be to understand authentication, security, and databases. So remember this, I have now started building the projects, right? And the next logical step, once I understand writing logic, creating APIs, the next logical step would be to learn about authentication, security, and databases. Now remember one thing over here, that an application without security and data persistence is nothing these days. Companies these days expect developers to know and understand how they can secure the applications, how the data can be persistent into production grade databases. So it's important that you have some knowledge of databases, and also you understand how you can implement security authentication. You need to understand things like JWTs, how you can work with JSON web tokens. JWT is essentially JSON web tokens, how you can implement login, route protection for different roles, how you can make use of OAuth 2. All of this, like sign in with Google, sign in with GitHub, all of this comes in this part. Also, when it comes to databases, you should understand how you can get your app work with different kinds of databases like PostgreSQL, MySQL, H2 database. All of that you need to understand. Well, MongoDB is also one which I just missed. Okay, so that also you should be aware of. The next logical step. So remember this, you now know how to create APIs. You now understand the basics of frameworks. You know how you can implement authentication, authorization, and databases. The next step is to start building a portfolio. You might have already built some simple APIs. For example, if I have built a basic to-do list application, it's time that I start converting all these small projects that I'm working on into a portfolio. You can even pick something interesting or something that interests you, a sort of problem that you see, and convert it into a project and add that to a portfolio. Well, let's be real over here. Hiring managers do not care about how many courses you have finished till date, but they care about how much you know and how much you have built. Let's say you are a hiring manager. Let's imagine that for a while, and you get two sets of resumes for freshers. Okay, now building projects for freshers is really, really important. Let me tell you why. If you're a hiring manager, you get two resumes and both are freshers, and they both went to same college, they got same marks, and everything is same in their resume, except for one fact. One person has some portfolio projects that he has built and deployed. The other person does not have some sort of portfolio projects. Who would you pick? I bet you would pick the person who has actually built some stuff, has actually deployed some stuff, because that indicates that he is a builder and he loves to solve problems. He has something on his resume that he has built. It also validates his skills. So here the biggest recommendation would be, I would highly recommend that you should have at least 2-3 portfolio projects added to your portfolio, deployed, and they should also be on GitHub, the link for the GitHub and the live link wherever you have hosted this should be added to your resume, and everything should be clearly mentioned, like the kind of tech stack you have used and some sort of explanation about the project. And you should be also be able to explain this project in the interview. So be sure on that as well, because you will be questioned what you have built, why you have taken this particular decision, why you coded something like this. So be sure to answer all those all those kind of questions as well. The next step after you build portfolio project, of course, is you should deploy your application. Now, if you've built portfolio projects, I would highly recommend and encourage you to deploy your application and learn deployment. I've read some code somewhere, I don't remember where, but it said that if it's not deployed, it does not exist. So that's how important deployment is. Learning to deploy is non-negotiable these days, and you should learn two kinds of deployments. One is deployments on servers that are actually being used in companies, like for example AWS, Google Cloud Servers, Azure. So you should learn all these cloud platforms and know how you can deploy your application over there. And also for your personal projects, you won't want to spend on these cloud platforms, because these cloud platforms are paid and not free. Yes, of course, they have a free tier, but that it gets exhausted. And I'm not sure if you would want to spend something on hosting your portfolio out there. So for that, you should also learn and go hands-on with free cloud hosting providers. Like there is one I know, Render. It has a generous free plan. Okay, so you can explore a few cloud hosting providers that have generous free plan, like Heroku. I think Heroku has discontinued the free plan, but you need to do your research and find out some cloud or hosting providers that have a generous free plan, and you can host your portfolio over there. So for this, now you will have to learn things like Docker containerization, because some hosting providers want application to be containerized, and different cloud providers will have different requirements. So understanding what are environment variables, how you can get your variables injected when you deploy your application on the cloud, monitoring, logging, all these kind of things you will have to learn when it comes to deployment. So deployment is non-negotiable, because these days companies expect their developers to know deployment. Next step to master is testing and debugging. So what I say testing and debugging is there could be two kinds of testing that you could do. One is doing manual testing using Postman or Swagger UI. And the other kind of testing is by writing unit test, and you could make use of JUnit Mockito if you are making use of Java to test your application. And things will break when you're doing software development. Of course they will, but you will also learn over here to debug your application. So if you face any sort of errors, know that errors or finding errors, issues in your application is a part of the process, and there is no software that exists without a bug. Right? This is what the code says, and this is what even my experience says, that software will always have bugs, but you as a developer, you should be good at finding bugs, debugging them, tracing the errors, and ultimately fixing them. The next step would be to learn about software architecture. Now, as you start building more, it's important that you learn about things like what is MVC architecture, what is a service layer, why you should have a particular piece of code written in service layer and not in controller. So you should improve on things. What is Redis? How can you make use of Redis for performance? How you can make use of message queues, RabbitMQ, Kafka. So if you're starting to learn more, build more projects, all these things will come in. How can you convert your application, which is built using monolith architecture, into microservices? And why should you do so? How should you decide on services? So all of these things you would start to learn at this particular stage. And this is where you will even level up and grow as a developer. You will also start taking a look at patterns, the software design patterns and all of that. So yeah, this is the next step. And the last thing that I would want to mention is about continuous improvement and always to learn and reflect. So backend is not or any sort of development, not only backend, is not a one-time skill. It evolves, and the more you iterate, the more confident and capable you become. For example, after learning backend development, you could think about building a small front end for your portfolio projects as well. So, you could understand how data flows between front end and back end, and how actually the APIs that you expose in the backend are being consumed in the front end. What sort of challenges front end developers face, and how you as a backend developer can be a good team player to help them build and push the application to the world. Also, you should join several communities, be a part of the groups, discussions, learn how you can make use of GitHub, refactor old projects that you might see, contribute to open source, write articles. So all of these things, this is where you actually grow as a developer, and you actually have a continuous learning mindset. This is where you will be separated from a average software engineer, because you're continuously growing, continuously learning, and staying up with the trends. Now, these are the things that I would do if I were to start from zero. I would also keep in mind few things that I would avoid if I would start over. So I would want to talk about those points as well. The number one thing that I would avoid if I were to start over, then the number one thing would be jumping between programming languages. So this is really, really important. So if you pick one programming language, just stick to that. So for example, if I pick Java, Spring Boot, just stick to that and master that first before you jump to another programming language. And jump to another programming language only if it's necessary, okay, and only if your project demands so. So this is number one thing. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is watching endless tutorials and building no projects. Now, this is where freshers or beginners that come out of college or are learning in the college make mistakes. They just keep watching tutorials and they think that they are learning. Yes, you are learning, but you are not going hands-on. And going hands-on is what will actually differentiate or add the difference between a learner and a real software engineer. Okay, so start building from day one. Start small. Okay, it's okay if you're facing issues, if you have to debug a lot, if there is an issue that you're not able to fix on your own, that's okay. These are all small challenges that you have to eventually overcome as a software engineer. But start building. This is non-negotiable. Just don't keep watching tutorials, tutorial after tutorial, tutorial after tutorial, and end up with nothing. You should be building projects. You should be writing code every day. This is really, really important. Point number 3 is skipping databases. So backend is all about data. The data is produced. There is a lot of data that is being produced in today's world. And it's important you learn how to manage it effectively. And this you can learn with the help of databases. So ignoring this weakens your entire skill set. So learn databases, learn how you can query the data, how you can integrate databases into your application. This is a very important skill set to have. The next point is ignoring security. Authentication and data protection aren't optional in today's world. Enterprises these days want their developers to know about security. This is something that I've mentioned already and I'm repeating it again. So ignoring security is not recommended, it's mandatory. The next point would be not deploying your application. So now a local project that no one can see won't help you get better or hired. So learn deployment and showcase your projects to the entire world. So these were all the points that I wanted to share if I was to start my career or development journey today. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you have any sort of feedback, suggestions, feel free to drop in a comment below or reach out to me. And by the way, I do have a few Udemy courses that are on sale right now, and you'll find the link to the courses below. These are the courses that help you get started, and we not only learn things, but we also build things. While we learn, we actually see it being implemented. And with these courses, you start as a fresher, as a beginner, and we make you, by the end of the course, you actually start building production grade applications. You have that skill. So these courses are on sale right now, and you'll find the link to the courses in the description below. And you can get these courses just for a couple of coffees. They don't cost much. Of course, like I mentioned, it's on Udemy. Udemy is the cheapest marketplace for online education, like you know. So I hope this was useful. Thank you.